Hey everybody, welcome. How are you doing? Tonight we're going to talk about into a demonic world. And it is Serene Sunday. Today we talk about how we could become better versions of us tomorrow than we are today. And that's about it. So I hope you enjoy tonight's presentation and video. Whatever time of day it is, make it great. All right. So one of the things you don't have to do with the Druid Circle videos is you don't have to worry about seeing one before to understand the one that's coming after. There's nothing consecutive about our videos. You can just watch any one and understand it from ground up. So the way I teach is that I don't teach in a way that, surprises you with information that you didn't already know or did not know, in a sense of, I would explain things to you before I go ahead and tackle that subject. And that's something that I want you to sort of realize. So when I talk about, a demonic world, there's many connotations of demons, right? And demons there's a variety of meanings for demons, and you could use the word demon for some very evil, if you will, spirit, all the way to a demon meaning just simply someone who is gone, someone who we've lost, a soul. It could be a good soul. It could be a not so good soul. It could be whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So tonight we're really going to talk about the departed soul as a way of understanding moving into a demonic world. All right. And so I think it's fairly important tonight that when we do the magic that I do at the end of the night, at the end of the presentation, and we do the Foyirkir, the Druidic Mantra, I think that you'll, by that point at the very end, understand enough where then you're going to be sound in your magic and sound in practicing your Druidic Mantra. I come to you as Druid Nicholas Declan, founder of the Druid Circle, founder of the Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood, founder of Druid University, and founder of Druid Living, a conservative folk media outlet. All to come, hopefully sooner rather than later. So let's begin. So, one of the things that we benefit from realizing, and this is really more of an embracing than a realization, but it is the idea that we are moving into what seems to be a chaotic world. So how does that tie in with moving into a demonic world? Demonic in the way of which I just told you. Not demon insofar as a nasty spirit, but demon insofar as just simply a departed soul. Because as our older generations pass, as our older generations retire into their final fate, and whether that's transmigration or something else, moving into the other world for an eternity, right? We have to be prepared to see why we are at a loss as people. Today there is a lot, and I would like to say it, especially today, that there is a lot of what I like to call ageism, because ageism says that we do not need, our our elders. We don't need our grandparents. We don't need any old people. And I believe that that really does kind of hone in on the idea of this demonic world, because the demonic world is a world of departed souls who, when they leave, have not been given an advantage of an opportunity to teach others, because their strength and courage, their wisdom and their vision is not needed. And that is quite terrible and quite demonic in itself. The older generations, and I'm, I would even say 40 and up, but I don't like to give an age. But our older generations have such experience, such knowledge to pass on to younger people, that it's sad to know that when they leave, they're going to take with them all of their knowledge and all of their experience with them without having passed that on to others. And that itself, in a sense, is demonic. That's why I'm using the word demonic world, moving into a demonic world, a world where the souls that are lost are not just, we're not just only losing them, but we are losing everything that they know and everything that they have experienced in this world, so that this way they could pass on the knowledge of their ancestors. And so it truly is quite a sad story when we know that as time gets darker, as the light begins to diminish, we must become aware of this very important idea during Samhain of this demon, if you will, or these demons that exist. And these demons are ugly ones. They're ugly because we have decided to shut down any knowledge that they can pass on to us, because they are older. They are old. They don't know the ways of the young kids. And while I'm not saying that our younger people today have experiences to share and things to even pass on as from their experience and their knowledge, and that we should take talents from each side, right? It's just to say that there seems to be a greater influence today that wants to shut down older voices. And when it shuts down older voices, that's when we lose out. So not only are we losing souls in these lost souls, these souls that we are losing are demons in the very true sense of the word. Demon here does not mean good or bad. Demon simply means the deceased. Moving into a demonic world is moving into a world without older individuals, and their ability to communicate, their ability to transcend, their ability to know things that we do not know. When we begin to shut down the voices of older individuals, we begin to shut down opportunities for ourselves. And it's very sad, because When many of us were younger, even those who were, in their 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, when we were younger, we sat in a circle and would listen to our grandfather or listen to our grandmother tell a story, right? But moving into this demonic world, moving into this world where souls are being lost, we are, in a sense, giving up. We are just giving up such an opportunity. And that opportunity is to seize new knowledge. Because old knowledge isn't always old knowledge. Old knowledge could be new knowledge if you don't already know it. It is my definition of the occult, my definition that says the occult is simply unknown knowledge, undiscovered knowledge. And this, if you will, ageism is so prevalent today, where the older generations need to listen to the younger generations. Now, a lot of people would say, well, Druid in the class, it's always been that way. No, there's always been a general respect toward older generations. Always. Until now. Until the time we live in right now. Conservatives tend to understand this concept and understand the worth of those who are older than us. But I think as you move more to the left, and I'm not talking anything political here, I'm just talking in general, as you move more to the left in liberal philosophy would say, no, your life is important. But we can't develop our life unless we learn from those who have gone before. Those who have gone before are the demons. That's why it's a demonic world. Because we are losing the souls. And again, demons do not mean just that evil ugliness. It's that it doesn't have anything to do with that terminology, our contemporary usage of the word demon, but demon in a way that says it's simply just a departed soul. In order to compensate for the lives, or the lives I should say, in order to compensate for the lives we're losing, we need to grab hold onto their stories while they are in this reality. What is it that they have to teach us? What is it that they have to show us? What is it that they have to demonstrate to us? What is it that they will present to us? Something that sparks an interest in us, something that ignites our light, so that come Yule, our light will be so bright that it will be ready and powerful enough to begin to change the stakes of going from darkness to darkerness into light and lightness. If we continue to practice our faith of the old religion, if we continue to develop our knowledge, we must incorporate the knowledge and magic of those who are older than us, because they have something that they need to give us. in order to pass either into another body, okay, as in a transmigration, or into another world. The demonic world we're moving into is one of chaos. And one thing that the older generations have, is they have a lot of cosmos stability, not sort of just this empty craziness that's taken place today. They have stability, right? They have foundation. And while their teachings may not necessarily be, talking about, the latest video game or any of that sort of thing, I think we've lost so much and so many of our abilities because we broke the connection between us and those who are ready to go before us. Their heads contain everything we need. Everything we need to move onward into Yule. And what better time than Samhain? What better time than Samhain is there to appreciate and understand the beauty of their lives? So I invite you and I encourage you this Samhain season to have a conversation with the one who is getting ready to go before you. I encourage you all to do that, to simply just do that. Talk to an older person who is ready to go before you, because their head contains so much more than just those stories. It contains their soul. I chose a section from Irish superstitions that I like to read to you now at this time, and I want you to listen to this particular superstition because it has a lot of merit in it and is, to me, quite true. So let me go ahead and take off my goggles and read to you a section from Irish Superstitions by Dadi O'Hogan. The soul can be observed, the image of the head, as the center of the life force and of the personality give rise to many other ideas. For instance, stories were told of how the soul could sometimes be seen in the shape of a little bird, a butterfly, or a bee flying out from the mouth of a sleeping person and returning before he awoke. The person might then describe a dream which he had, a dream based on what the soul saw when it had temporarily left the body. A prevalent belief was that at death, the soul departed through the hollow in the crown of the head, meaning the halo. if we do not see the halo of our older generations, if we do not see their soul within them, and we ignore them and we pass them off, then how is it that we can ever be better versions of ourselves tomorrow than we are today? Tonight I went to my mom's, and it was her 77th birthday. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, just about, I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went over, and it was beautiful. It's just this wonderful thing. I knew I was still sewing. I'm like, this would be a perfect time to do something so winish that, or sewinish, that it would be to not take advantage of this opportunity would in itself be demonic. And my mom took me and, you know, Jeremiah, my little brother, took me and him and around all of this little town called Glassboro, New Jersey. And we went here and there and this place and that place, and she was showing me this person, that person, whatever the case was. And so when she's taking us around this town, she's showing us basically step by step, this is what happened here, this is what happened there, this is what happened here and there. And it was beautiful. I think the most beautiful point was when we were driving and we saw her friend from high school who happened to be inside her old house. And right next to her old house was her grandfather's house. And so we saw this woman there, and she was older, and we talked to her, and it's funny because, you know, we there's so much of a focus on racism today and inequality today and all this, and I'm like, I don't buy it. The woman that she happened to talk to was a black woman, and they were just talking like they were just talking. They weren't talking like one was better than the other person, because see, the older generations, they knew what inequality was. They knew it. And so they're saying this, you know, they're saying all this stuff today, and it's just not true. It simply isn't true. It doesn't mean there isn't racism today. There is. I'm just saying that it's just we're not drinking out of separate water fountains. And I cried because it was such a beautiful story to see these two people from two separate worlds just come together. They took pictures together, and it was like one of her best friends in high school. The point, folks, is this. The point is that we can learn so much from these older beings before we see their halos, before these beings become demonic. Demonic, not in a bad sense, not in that negative sense, not in that horrible sense, but demonic simply as a departed individual, which is truly what the name means. At least at one point it meant that. To know Druidism is to know language. And I think one of the things is that being a linguist, you definitely know words very well. And the Druids had this ability to know words and had that knowledge. that's why it was so easy to commit to memory most things. It was easy for them because they were linguists. Not to say that they weren't priests, but that they were linguists. And they were not only able to memorize, but even more so, as in the poem, that discusses and, Mimir, the idea of Mimir being the god who helps the gods remember their past, remember the ancestral ways. And I'm telling everyone as a warning, I'm speaking on behalf of the doula, the Dulan. Speaking on behalf of the Dulan, the dark man, that the warning is, if we do not listen to those who are getting ready to move on, we are going to be in truly a demonic world. Why? Because if we don't listen, then what's going to happen is we are never going to be able to take those traditions and continue on with them. The Carmina Gadelica, right? And I don't know why this just popped into my head. I have no clue. I wasn't even going to talk about this tonight, but it just popped in my head, so I figured I'd use it as an example. The Carmina Gadelica is such a wonderful collection of stories. And what they did was what Carmichael did was took the stories of people that were committed to memory, right? And he wrote them in. And he kept on writing them in. That's where we get the Celtic commandments from. The Celtic commandments don't come from some new age, hippy dippy woke AF druid. They come from sound individuals of the past. And, these are individuals, who came in with dirt on their hands because they worked. They really worked. They understood work ethic. They understood hard work. They said, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you can do for your country. How can you contribute to a world that will become a better place if you contribute? Not simply sitting there hours and hours and hours debating on what's the best pronoun to use, but having real conversations, not these invented conversations. Having genuine conversations on and motions to make this world a better place. We could do that. And we don't need a government to tell us how. So the story here is to understand and benefit from learning from our older generations and our elders, because they have the stories and the receipts to prove their worth before they become halos. And we see their soul rising out of it and moving into either another body at any age, which can really, most of it can be performed by a druid, but it's like a priest would perform or celebrate a funeral, or be a celebrant at a funeral. But more importantly, before that happens, what can we what can we what can we do to appreciate them more? Tonight's Fuyirkiru, or Druidic Mantra, is this: I am without knowledge, as I am without magic, until I meet someone of age who can demonstrate that to me. I am without knowledge and magic until I can meet someone of age who can demonstrate that to me. And when you repeat that, you are going to have this internal force build up within you to desire someone of old. Desire to talk to someone of old, to have a conversation. And that is tonight's Serene Sunday. We will most definitely move into a demonic world. A demonic world where demonic means, in this case, a world of departed souls, and a tragedy that says that they will go without their knowledge being passed on to us. What are you going to do to make it happen? What are you going to do to make that richness occur in your life, where it's like hitting the lottery? Just think about that. And tonight's Druid, or magic, okay? Tonight's Druid or magic is when you meet the older person, right? When you meet the older person, I really want you to do this before the end of Samhain. But when you meet the older person, this is really magic. Remember, the magic I teach is seasonal, right? It works with the seasons. So, I mean, could you do it during Yule? Sure, but the best time to do it would be during the time that I say to do it. But the one of the things I'm telling you to do is that when you meet the other person, right? When you meet the other person, grab hold of their eyes. Grab hold of their eyes. And how do you grab hold of their eyes? You grab hold of their eyes by just gathering your hands here and placing your hands on their shoulders and saying, thank you for talking with me tonight. Thank you for talking with me today. Because the shoulders are our eyes when our soul leaves the head. And that's it. That's the magic. Getting your hands and placing them. Because when you do that, you will have what is called empathetic vision. Empathetic vision is basically being able to see what they see, hear what they hear, feel what they feel. And the hope is to go into a demonic world, but a demonic world where we've already reached a point where we have learned and adopted new things into our lives that are actually the old ways. I come to you as Druid Nicholas Declan. I'm not, a Druid of Druids. I'm not a Merlin of Merlins. I'm not a Wizard of Wizards. I'm just a dude. A person who is starting my own religious order, and I hope you join it. I hope you fill out the application. A person who really, truly believes in the old ways and believes in a way of life that is free from enslavement, that is free from chains. Not liberation, liberty. Liberty. The freedom to be able to do what you want to do, yet have an idea and a guide to help you get to your next step. That's what the Druid Circle will do. That's what Druid University will do. And that's what the Druid Order will do, the religious order, Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood will do. And hopefully with the help of Druid Living, our conservative folk media outlet. Thank you, everybody. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put up in the comments tonight, I'm going to put up what we talked about. So, and I'm going to try to pin that. So give me a second. Okay. Paste. Send. Boom. Okay. There we go. Pin. There we go. All right. I pinned it for you. It's up. Thank you, everybody. And let me give you your weekend blessing. Getting old, folks. Getting old. All right. Wherever you're at, whenever you're at, may the gods bless you. May the goddesses keep you. May the fae and mysticals and spirits shine their light upon you. And may your ancestors remain with you forever and ever. Kira Win. Aranit. Est le mogui. The Druidic philosophy is Betshegora. It all works out. It won't always work out, but it does in fact work out. Ta shefir. Ta shefir. Be it thus. Be it thus. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's Serene Sunday and use this to get yourself through the week. And start working on that. Make sure you get that assignment done, and you can always come back and let us know how you did. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow night on Ask a Druid. All my shows are usually at 8 o'clock, Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. And until I get a car again, I won't be doing From the Stone, because it takes, I need a car to get out there, and right now me and Zipcar are at odds with each other, so I'm going to drop them, and I may just have to rent cars, and it's going to cost a fortune, but I mean, it's whatever I got to do. I'm not, I just, it might be better to buy a car, but it'd be too expensive. So But either way, I mean, I do miss. I really miss doing those from the stones, guys. I really do. Getting up at, like we would do them like sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be up at 5 o'clock. So, but it is what it is. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time of day it is, and whatever time of day it is, make it great. I will go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and answer all your comments online after I put this up on YouTube. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'm sure many of you are going to start cooking for Thanksgiving, so have a good Thanksgiving. But we're going to go ahead and give you a personal, a very special Thanksgiving blessing on Thanksgiving Day. We don't do this indigenous thing, any of that, and have a very solemn occasion. That we're about having fun and celebrations, not being down in the dumps. I mean, it's okay to do that, but if you're always doing that, then you're miserable, and we don't want you to be miserable. We want you to be happy. It's important. All right.